This is Support is Sexy, episode 170. Say yes. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm so excited to have you here. You know it just would not be the same without you. So I have a question for you. How often do you say the word yes? Yes to things that may make you uncomfortable. I'm asking because, I consider my birthday, which just passed recently. Happy birthday to me. I consider my birthday a new year for me. So like everyone else does in January, or most people do in January at the start of the new year, I consider my birthday, February 20th, my new year. And I don't make resolutions, but I do sort of look at what the year has been like for me, what I've done, what I've accomplished, whether it's personal growth things or things like launching a podcast. But I also look at where are the spaces where I'm playing it safe, being comfortable, where I'm saying no, whether it's verbally or otherwise, because I am afraid to move forward in that area, or I don't want to spend time developing that area, or I make excuses for why I'm not doing the things that I want to do, need to do. There's no real should or shouldn't, but just a space where I could grow in some way. I'm saying no in some way when I could be saying yes, and where that yes could take me so much further if I just got past whatever hang up I have and whatever's making me say no. So this year, or this past year, you know what that area was? Dating. Yes, dating. Now, this is not a relationship podcast, and I am in no way a relationship expert. I bring on the expert. I am not a relationship expert, but I will say that I have someone who thinks they're a relationship expert in my life, my best friend April, who does challenge me on my attitude toward dating. Now, I have another friend who, when talking about dating, one of the things that she said is, "Oh, I love dating." And I may have spoken about this before, but just her response and the way she thought about dating, considered dating, thought of it as something fun, whether it's something that's a to-do or something that's a time suck or anything like that, which is the thoughts that I have, anything like that. She just really approached it in a I love dating way. And I envy her for having that feeling. She's married now, but I envied her for having that feeling because I felt like there are so many other things that came before or need to come before this idea of dating. Now, if I'm interested in someone, I will say I will pursue that in my own little flirtatious way and date them and see where things go. But I'm talking about going out with people, saying yes to people that you don't know if you have any interest in. You don't know them from Adam, whether you met them in person or online or wherever people meet people now. I have no idea. Going out with those kind of people, saying yes to those people who may be perfectly fine. I'm sure they're perfectly fine. They might be a match. They might not. April's point is you don't know if you don't give it a try. My point is if it isn't and you give it a try and it doesn't work out and you've wasted all this time, it's a vicious cycle for me. I can make the no work in any kind of way in the dating space. But my challenge to myself this year, starting as of February 20th, is to say yes more in the space of dating. Yes, in the space of just going out with the person. And someone else mentioned to me recently, Veronica, in a challenge when we were talking about vision boards or at the vision board party, she said that, I can't remember who mentioned to her, just give someone at least a second date. Whether you love them or not, meaning whether you like them, I should say, on the first date or it went well, things happen. They could be nervous. You could be nervous. Everybody's not themselves on the first date. So have in mind that I'm going to give this person a second shot. Of course, if they're a jerk, you don't want to do that. But if it was just normal or not your favorite, have in mind, I'm going to give this person a second chance if they ask me out for a second date. And for some reason, that resonated with me more than just getting through that first date. It was sort of like, you know what? Doesn't put as much pressure on this first one because whatever happens, as long as this person isn't rude or obnoxious or a jerk in any other kind of way, I'm going to give them a second shot, and hopefully they'll give me a second shot. It sort of took the weight off that first yes. I don't know if that makes any sense, but for me, maybe it's a mind game I'm playing with myself to sort of get through whatever anxiety I have about this idea of dating. Now, I'm not saying all this to say that I'm afraid to date or anything like that. I honestly just have not focused on it. And focusing on it, I think, is a thing that gives me the anxiety because I feel like it will take away from other things that I'm doing right now, namely my business. And some of you might be able to relate to that. You have set aside a relationship or set aside some other things, or maybe even let go of some relationship that you may have had. We're talking romantic relationship, because you're focused on your business. Your business is the priority. The business is the thing that you really want to see work. You don't have time for socializing unless it's business related. You don't have time for going out unless it's something that you're doing for yourself for a short time. It's really tough to give to someone else regularly in this space, or you think it is. Actually, it isn't. But you have decided, I have decided that it's tough to give of yourself romantically in that way when you're so focused on your business. And I will say when you're in a service business or being of service to people, which is the kind of business that I created and a lot of people have created, where you're being of service to people, constantly giving through courses, a podcast, content, any other way that you serve people, certainly as a coach and all of those things. It's tough to, you might think it's tough to, I'm trying to be very careful of language. You might think that it would be tough to then also give to a partner. Or I know some people who have children who find it tough to then muster up the energy to give to their children. Now, of course, children are different. They're yours. You love them. You give to them. But to decide to start a new relationship, I think that's the thing too. This isn't an existing relationship. This would be a new relationship, which most times, in my experience, requires a little bit more attention, for lack of a better word. It requires more attention in the beginning. Now, there's a lot of fun in that, but I honestly have never started a new relationship in the early stages of a business. So I don't really know what it's like. And that is the thing. I have been saying no because of what I think it's going to be like, or what I imagine it will be like, or what I imagine is difficult about it, or what will be tough about it, or what I imagine will be the hang-ups, or what it's all things that are in the imagination, which is what usually stops us from doing things that could be extraordinary experiences for us, right? And one of the things that April and a lot of my friends actually say too is that this person, whoever this magical person is, this person could be just what you need for your business, even if they're not. That's not the point. But just thinking about it another way, I always say, think about the possibilities. I need to remember that for myself in the space of relationships. This person could be just what you need for your business. Maybe they become a business partner, or maybe they just simply help you take your mind off it for a little while. Another thing that I hadn't considered. So I share all of this with you, not to get you all into my business, even though I share a little bit of everything on here. But I share all of this with you to say, what are you saying no to that you could be saying yes to? And if you said yes, it could totally change your life. It could totally take you outside of your comfort zone, which is where the magic exists, as we know. What are you saying no to when a yes will take you to the next level? What are you holding back from, making excuses about, procrastinating about, coming up with imaginary reasons for why something will not work, when you could say yes and just see? Maybe you're right that it won't work, but do you really know? Have you really given it a try? Now, this is outside of relationships. This could be something in your business. Maybe you've been thinking about, you know what, I really want to write a book. I have some ideas. I think I really have some great experience in this area, but no, I'm not going to do it because, and then you come up with this list of reasons for no. What if you said yes to that inspiration? What if you said yes to that idea? What if you said yes to giving that a try? Yes to doing it? Yes to putting it out there and letting other people decide whether it works for them or not, whether it can be of some kind of support to them. You're deciding on your own without presenting the work, without saying yes, without trying it, without letting other people be able to witness what you can create. You're saying no because it might be something that you're afraid to do, or you don't feel like you have time to do, or, as I said, making up up all the excuses and making them into quote unquote reasons that you're not doing this thing. And what's funny about me, and I don't know if you all experience this, I do say yes, or have in the past said yes to quote unquote bigger things or events or things like, for example, starting a new business. I did have to say yes to something like that because it was something I was passionate about. I knew I wanted to do. I've said yes to jumping out of a plane before. I've gone skydiving many years ago. I probably wouldn't do it again. Once was good enough for me, but that was an amazing experience. I said yes to that. So there are certainly things that I've done that I've been afraid to do and can push through, but this is one area where I can come up with a whole list of excuses of why I should say no. I am pushing myself to say yes. And I will keep you posted on this as much as you guys want to be posted on this. As I said, this isn't a relationship podcast, but it is relative to business and creating your life, creating something sexy in your life, right? I need to create something sexy in my life and see how that part of it goes. So for you, again, what are you saying no to when you could be saying yes? Not you should. I don't like to get caught up on should. What are you saying no to that you could be saying yes, that could take you to the next level? I will say, though, there are some times when you need to say no. You be the best judge of that. You know when you need to say no. I'm not talking about those times. I'm actually listening to this book on audio, Essentialism, which is fantastic, which talks about the times that we need to say no and really be focused on what's essential at this time. And you know what? I could actually use that as an excuse, again, in the relationship space. But for me, I actually do think having a relationship is essential. And I will say that I am a great girlfriend. Shout out to the Great Girlfriends podcast. But I'm a great girlfriend in relationships too. And I enjoy being in a relationship. It's just starting anew. And as I said, just at this point with everything else that is going on. And I will give it a try. And then if it doesn't work out, at least I have experienced it. I've given it a try. I'll wait and try again later, whenever later is, or when it just happens, or whatever reveals itself to be the right time, the right place, and the right person. But I am going to say yes. So my challenge to you within the next 30 days, let's give it. Within the next 30 days, say yes to something that terrifies you. I don't know if that thing is something you already know about. Maybe it's something you're already saying no to just because. But if not, keep your eye open for some opportunity to go to the next level where your first instinct might be to say no, and then give it some thought. Maybe your instinct is right and it needs to be a no. But are you saying no because you're afraid? Are you saying no because you're making excuses for why it won't work? Could the answer be yes? If so, say yes. All right, so we're going to conquer that challenge together. You and I, all in. We're going to say yes to the things that can really take us to the next level. Stop being afraid. Stop making excuses. Say yes. Now, as always, thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being on this journey with me. It's fun to share, and you know what? Even sharing things like this takes me out of my comfort zone, but this is what came up as something to share, and I said yes, so I'm sharing it with you all, and I appreciate you listening. For more, you can go to supportissexypodcast.com. New episodes coming up, of course, next week, as well as interviews with some incredible women entrepreneurs who are really doing amazing things around the world. All kinds of different ways, all kinds of industries. You're going to love it. So make sure you come back and check it out and go to supportissexypodcast.com to stay updated on everything. In fact, make sure you subscribe when you go there to our email list so you don't miss an episode, even if you don't catch it in real time. All right. Again, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you. And for now, you know what to do. Go out there and create something sexy. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.